Yeah. Hello, Vishnu Kumar ji. I
Good
hope
evening,
you're
sir.
okay. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So in last class, what we did, we completed that rise of national consciousness in India. Okay. So you can collect some material, whatever man recorded, you can collect it and you can get one complete idea. And today I made a plan to complete that occupation of that Bengal. Okay, Robert Clive, Sirajuddaulah, Mir Jafar, Mir Qasim, Battle of Plassey. Up to Battle of Plassey, I'm planning for today. It's not that difficult. Okay, but before this Battle of Plassey, there was a rise of national consciousness. What is that national consciousness? How the Indians able to increase the feeling of nationalism? Because that nationalism we lost long before. At the time of ancient period only we lost that after the death of Harshavardhan. Okay, there was no paramount power in India, no single ruler able to rule India for a long time. Due to all these reasons, we lost that power. And along with that, there was migration of the yeah, Arab invasion, next the Mughal period, and so many rulers we know. So that's why we lost that feeling that we all belongs to one country, India, or like that. So that feeling once again we able to get during this 19th century because of the Renaissance. I hope Vishnuji, you know about the Renaissance period in Europe, how a number of educated people were rose into power in Europe at the time of French Revolution, Russian Revolution, and then the British, in United Kingdom, that is none other than the British War of Independence. And during that time, how a great change we able to get in Europe. Similarly, in India, we able to get the feeling of nationalism, my country, my people. So the factors, Raja Raman Rai, next the Vidya Chandra Sagar, next Sayed Ibrahim, so many rulers, so many eminent personalities, they had a contribution that all period we completed earlier. Okay, I hope you one or two classes you might have heard that. Now we are going to discuss about the Robert Clive. Okay, after that I completed in a series. So now Robert Clive. Robert Clive, are you okay now, Vishnuji? Now did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now we are going to discuss only 3 points. One is Mr. Robert Clive, how and what had his contribution with the Sirajuddaulah, and then the Battle of Plassey. What was the circumstance, in what condition there was a Battle of Plassey, that all we are going to discuss. Chalo. Robert Clive, if you see, basically he was an ordinary, unknown family in England, born in 1725. Yeah, Aditi also joined 1725. Okay, he founded the credit goes to him for the foundation of British Empire in India. Childhood, he was remarkable. He got neighbors and completely. It's like every child he started his education, but due to the economic condition, he came to India to work under the East India Company. In the East India Company, when he joined after his completion of education, he unable to adjust himself within country India. And by that time, so many climatic condition was very problematic. The climate of India proved too hard for many Europeans in those days. Okay, fever was frequent, and many died untimely due to the climatic. They unable to adjust. So also Robert Clive, he also faced so many problems. So he twice decided, Clive twice decided to commit suicide. But unfortunately, both the time he escaped. Then he realized that it seems that fate must be reserving me for something new purpose that he decided. Then he started a consolidated his mind and he stayed back in India. And once again, he restarted his career from the written clerical. He joined as a clerical work. Then he changed into now after that at the time of Anglo-French war was began in India, then he joined with the military camp He completed his military education also. Then he changed his career in India. So that was one of the greatest contribution we can see. And after that, what happened? Rest, uh, 1 minute, children. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So, thing is that he started a new career, and that career helpful for development of his yeah contribution to Indian administration. So in the meantime, if you see what was the condition of Bengal, if you see, there was a lot of change in Bengal. Yeah. So this is the Clive. Now let us go little bit the political condition of Bengal. What is the political condition of Bengal? So this is most important because uh, Robert Clive's life starts with the Bengal. So what was the political condition of Bengal? If you see Bengal, Bengal also one time it was a province of Mughal by that time, but later on in the days of during this 1757, at the time of Battle of Plassey, if you see, in the days of fall of empire, Subedar of Viceroy of Bengal was independent Nawab. He became independent from the Mughals and he started to rule himself. So point number one, try to remember. So Bengal new ruler we able to see, and that new ruler was he declared himself completely independent. So that was one, number one. Number two, if you'll see, he has to pay respect to the Mughal emperor at Delhi, but later on he declared completely independent from the Mughal relation. And later on, that Nawab was popularly called as Alivardi Khan. Remember, at the time of before this Battle of Plassey, if you'll see, the ruler was Alivardi Khan. He was the Nawab of Bengal when Anglo-French war were going on in the south part. Right, class? So we are discussing about the political condition of Bengal at the time of Battle of Plassey. It is a must because Battle of Plassey in the Bengal, which is most important decisive making, and it will completely change the fate of India. That's why we have to know the political condition. So Alivardi Khan, he declared completely independent Nawab, and then he competed with so many contemporary rulers between 1740 to 1756. He had a time of trouble, so many wars. Most problem he faced from the Marathas. By that time, Maratha gave frequent threatening to him. Anyhow, because of his strength, because of his ability, he able to overcome all these problems. But he had no successor. At the time of during his last period, he had no successor. Finally, what he did, Siraj-ud-Dowla, his he selected Siraj-ud-Dowla as his successor. Okay, the supreme commander of his last days. His, of course, Siraj-ud-Dowla was his son in daughter's son. Okay, he hoped that Alivardi Khan decided that Siraj-ud-Dowla may succeed all this, but unfortunately, in spite of Siraj-ud-Dowla, there are some other people who were very trustworthy towards Alivardi Khan. They expected to get the power, but unfortunately, when Alivardi Khan made Siraj-ud-Dowla as the successor, those trustworthy supporter of Alivardi Khan became against to Siraj-ud-Dowla. Even Siraj-ud-Dowla unable to get the support from those novels and supporter of Alivardi Khan. That was another problem. So this was the political condition during this in this completely disturbed political condition. Alivardi Khan died in 1756. Right, children? This was the political condition of Bengal. Now, if you see Sirajudollah, he was very young man, but he unable to change himself according to the need of the time. Because the time when he became the emperor of Bengal, or we can say the ruler of Bengal, he need a lot of support and a lot of political instability. During that time, he came to power, but he was very arrogant. He wanted to enjoy his life. He did not take into faith of the trusted servants at the time of Ali Khan. Due to all these negative points, he has to pay for that Battle of Plassey. Okay, and in the meantime, if you'll see, the British government also tried to increase their power, and these all circumstances, a few factors mainly responsible for a defeat of this Sirajudollah. Okay, let us see one or two causes. What were the main problem? Within this condition, this angry member of Sirajudollah, first of all, very advocacy to the English, became intolerable of the Nawab. He received information from the company, was a secret negotiation with his dangerous rivals. Most of his, as I told you, no, most of the trustworthy workers under Ali Khan, they wanted to be the rule, get the successor, but they were rejected, and Sirajudollah was given. So they secretly joined their hands with British government. Okay, and this Sirajudollah did not listen to anyone. Young leader, very agony and very proud, and he wanted to enjoy the life also. So he rejected all the things from the people, no suggestion. So these are all problems he faced, and that all resulted one incident that was called as the Black Hole tragedy. Black hole tragedy, before going to the black hole tragedy, as we know that the Europeans already migrated. In last class, I told Vasco da Gama, Dutch, Portuguese, then the French, how they already migrated to India during 1600 AD onwards, and they started the fortification and all this, right? So that continued till now. In this time, it became a little bit peak, 1750, 1755. The Dutch, the French, the British, and the Portuguese, they already no more trade relations. They already started construction of industry, children. So that was the main for the on behalf of British, on behalf of the European industry, they started construction of industry in India. So that development they able to make. So also in Bengal they started. Try to remember when the Dutch, French, Portuguese, British, these are all European. They started fortification. Fortification means construction of industry. In Bengal, Sirajudollah objected that, and Sirajudollah gave order not to construct the fortification, not to construct the industry in Bengal. Remain Europeans, they follow the words except the British. Okay, so East India Company continue. As a result, to take revenge, that East India Company, one day, that was 25th June 1756. Please remember that 25th June 1756, Sirajudollah, along with his army, visited to the construction site, that industrial site. He arrested near about 146 British prisoners, means those were working in the East India Company. Okay, and then he kept them in the small cell of Fort of William at Calcutta. Very small fort cell. Some historians they are giving that it is near about 18 feet length and 14 feet width. A small room, 146 workers in that month of June. Just you imagine. And there was no ventilation also. So in that hot summer, he kept that 146 prisoners in that cell. The next day, near about out of that 146, near about 123 prisoners completely died. Okay, and that incident was popularly called as the black hole tragedy in the history of Europe. Okay, they highlighted that they blamed the Nawab Sirajuddaula, and in the meantime, on behalf of British East India Company, Clive already the head of the East India Company, and he was at Chennai, Madras by that time. East India Company. Clive was the head of the East India Company. He was at Chennai, and when he listened about this black hole tragedy, he returned back from Chennai to Bengal. Okay, children. So this is the main factor for one of the main factor for the rise of yeah, Battle of Plassey, right? Let us see what happened here. When Sirajuddaula attacked the Calcutta, Clive was at Madras. The news of the fall of Calcutta reached Madras at the time. The Englishmen there, they came under the leadership of Clive. Clive and Admiral Watson, one of the another British he supported to in Clive. Both of them they came to Bengal without delay from the south to Bengal for taking revenge against Sirajuddaula. Before Clive reached Bengal, Nawab had gone back with his army to his capital Murshidabad. It became easy for English, therefore, they recaptured Calcutta, and after some time, both sides agreed for a treaty, right? In that treaty, that is one of the condition we can see. Okay, Sirajuddaula and Clive, of course, they made one treaty, but later on, this was not last long. The treaty was not continue for a long time. This Nawab agreed different type of actions of the Clive. He was not happy with that according to that agreement. On the other hand, let us see some of the another conspiracy. Class, I hope you are understanding. Now we are discussing Sirajuddaula and Clive, their relation. Okay. When Sirajuddaula made one peace agreement with the Clive, okay, everyone thought that everything went in well. Okay, no war, nothing. But no, Clive was the person who never wanted to give up everything in a easy method because he wanted to take revenge of that killing of 123 soldiers, yeah, in the black hole tragedy. For that, he preferred one platform for declaring direct war against Sirajuddaula, and that resulted the Battle of Plassey, right? And before making the Battle of Plassey, this Robert Clive cleverly he took the support of his other yeah members of Sirajuddaula, such as Mir Jafar, Mir Qasim. Okay, such type of Rai Durlab. Next, the Jagat Set. Okay, Manik Chand. Like that, some of the trustworthy supporters of Sirajuddaula, they were went towards Clive. Before the Battle of Plassey, Clive tactically able to get the support of the trustworthy workers of Sirajuddaula towards himself. That made this Sirajuddaula completely weak. Children, you can't believe at the time of Battle of Plassey, that was Plassey, it is a place in the West Bengal. Okay, at the time of Battle of Plassey, this Sirajuddaula or the Nawab of Bengal, we can say, he had 50,000 infantry and 28,000 cavalry, that much of bigger army. On the other hand, Clive had only 3,000 soldiers, right? In spite of that bigger army consists of near about 70,000, 80,000, near about 80,000, both infantry and cavalry, Sirajuddaula unable to defeat. He lost the war because, as I told you, they already made a plot against the Sirajuddaula, especially the trustworthy Mir Jafar and Mir Qasim. Okay, so did not participate, misguided the army, and that all helpful in favor of Clive and finally Clive able to win the battle, and Sirajuddaula was captured and he was killed. And this is the greatest landmark in the history of India as well as England. Battle of Plassey landmark we can say because this is a battle which completely changed the fate of both it was decisive children, okay, for both India and British. Aditi ji and Vishnu Kumar, I hope, because I hope you are understanding this battle completely changed the shape of destiny. The traders, we know that East India Company came to India as a traders, mere trader to keep the trade relation. And by taking the advantages of this what uh, unstable political activity and no strong power, no proper ruler and weakness of Sirajuddaulah, by taking all these, this war completely changed that made the traders into the rulers who came once upon a time to make a trade relation. Now they became the rulers. So this is Battle of Plassey. After the Battle of Plassey, what happened is Mir Jafar was offered the crown. Mir Jafar was made as the Nawab of the Bengal. Okay, so Sirajuddaulah chapter came into end. Mir Jafar, he was chief of the army. He was promised by Robert Clive, and he made as the Bengal of Nawab of Bengal at the throne in Murshidabad. Try to remember Murshidabad by that time the capital city. Mir Jafar was the chief conspirator against Sirajuddaulah. He thought that everything he will get as like Sirajuddaulah, but he was misguided. The East India Company, or we can say Robert Clive, simply took all the power to his hand, and Mir Jafar became a puppet. Okay, he had to pay only the tax to the British government by giving a huge amount of tax, jamindaris, and all these things. British Jafar realized his mistake, and in 1760, Clive returned back to home. When Clive returned back, East India Company wanted more and more money from Mir Jafar. Finally, Mir Jafar also decided to quit the Nawabship, and then his son-in-law, Mir Jafar's son-in-law, Mir Qasim, became the independent ruler of Murshidabad. But he also is like just his yes Mir Jafar. Mir Qasim also is just a puppet. Naturally, there began a conflict between the Nawab and the company. Nawab means now, as we know, the Mir Qasim. Okay, so this is what a great change we able to see. See, children. First of all, Clive, Robert Clive, how he became a prominent ruler in the East India Company, became the militant power. Then he made the decision for making fortification in Bengal. Then the role of Sirajuddaulah we have seen how Sirajuddaulah denied to stop the yeah fortification. Then there was a Battle of Plassey, and in that Battle of Plassey, what are the different type of plots were made against Sirajuddaulah and defeat of Sirajuddaulah. After that, Mir Jafar, then Mir Qasim. Okay, so far we saw these are the things. Now let us see Mir Qasim. During Mir Qasim also, there was a war. Okay, the company appeared hostile step against the English and confirmation, the company decided to remove Mir Qasim from the throne. Mir Qasim decided to give a battle. As a result, Mir Qasim, during the Mir Qasim's period, there was another battle we able to see with the East India Company. And this was another important. So two battles made completely changing the destiny of India. First we saw Battle of Plassey. Now, under the leadership of Mir Qasim, there was another war, and that was called as the Battle of Buxar. After the Battle of Plassey, East India Company became political power. We know that it encouraged the strength of the army and made a potential military force. Okay, they took all the power that Nawab Sif and to whomever he they appointed, it may be the Amir Jafar, it may be the Amir Qasim, they were simply perfect. Okay, so it was the impossible for the poor Nawab and his soldier to face the British mightiest army. And then there was a successive battle. Therefore, the Nawab was defeated, and this helped another great change, political change in um, India. At this time, as Battle of Buxar I am talking, this Battle of Buxar was combined army of Awadh, Odisha, and Kingdom of Mir Qasim. So combined army. Okay. Sajadwala and Nawab of Wazir in the name only he was still the Wazir, but Prime Minister, the Mughal Emperor. So combined army we can say. Awadh, Odisha, Bihar, and Bengal. This all combined army, they fought in the Battle of Buxar. And at that time, the Emperor of Delhi was Shah Alam II. Please note down, this is very important. Who was the ruler of Delhi at the time of Buxar, Battle of Buxar in Delhi? So by that time, Shah Alam II, he was powerless, but legally the name he was still the Mughal Emperor of India. Mir Qasim also got support from the Shah Alam. Thus, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II, the Nawab of Wazir, Sajadullah and Mir Qasim combined force stood against the British. So, unfortunately, this battle of Buxar combine of all these army in 1764. Okay, this battle was fought. The opposite British were very strong. They were Commander Major Hector. This was led by, this was commanded by Major Hector. Okay, he gave a crushing defeat to this combined army, and like the Battle of Plassey and this Battle of Buxar also a great victory for the British. These are the two battle children which made India completely downfall, and India was under the control of, India lost its identity, we can say, because of these two Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. Aditi and Vishnu Kumarji, once again, you just listen the gist of Battle of Buxar. So Battle of Buxar, we saw Mir Qasim, right? He was by that time Bengal Nawab. Mir Qasim, he took the help of Odisha, Oudh by that time, another kingdom, Oudh, Bihar. Okay, along with that, he took the help of Delhi Emperor by that time. He was none other than Shah Alam II. So combined army of all these, they declared war against yeah, British government in the name of Battle of Buxar. But unfortunately, this combined army defeated in the hands of British. As a result, these all things happened in 1764. So this was the Battle of Buxar, which completely decisive factor. It decides the fate of India, both Battle of Plassey and Buxar. Then after that, Mir Jafar's death, East India Company raised to Bengal, Masood, and the new Nawab began to rule only in the name. The company became busy acquiring the money, administration, and collapsed the Bengal. Okay, and there was anarchy over the area in the East India. Next, the company mastered the England became known as the complete ruler of, and the foundation of East India Company was established in Bengal. From that Bengal, they expand the fact situation, they expand entire India from that Bengal. They adopted that East India Company ruled 1757. Of course, let us take 1757. 1757, Battle of Plassey, 1764, Battle of Buxar. So between these two battle to 1857. Okay, 1857, as we know, the first war of independence. This almost 100 years, India ruled by this East India Company. And this East India Company, it used to send the governor generals. Okay, and those governor generals came to India on behalf of East India Company, and they implemented different type of rules and regulations regarding the British expansion. It may be the subsidiary alliance, it may be the permanent settlement, it may be the doctrine of lapse. These all are such type of, we are going in discuss in detail. So these are the steps, methods adopted by East India Company under the Governor Generals and try to expand British East India Company in India. Okay, I hope now you are clear about the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. Okay, now the Grand of Diwani of Bengal, Bihar, Odisha to East India Company. As we know that, let us complete a little bit. 1764, Battle of Buxar came into end, and 1765, Lord Clive reached Bengal after the Battle of Buxar had greatly altered the political condition of India. Clive knew the significance. He defeated the Mughal emperor, means so much, even India also we can say. The defeat of the Nawab of Wazir of Oudh. Clive applied the mind to take full advantage of their defeat. At first, he compelled the Nawab of Wazir to come to the terms. He defeated the Sujadullah, then surrendered the company two places named Allahabad and Kora. Remember these two. So Allahabad and Kora directly came under the control of Clive. He also agreed to pay 50 lakhs as a compensation for the company. Okay, so in this way, huge amount of money and land captured by Robert Clive on behalf of East India Company after the Battle of Buxar. Okay, number one. Number two, Clive turned to defeat Mughal Emperor Shah Alam, because in the second battle we saw in the Battle of Buxar, even Shah Alam also supported. So now Clive moved towards Shah Alam and forced him to make a treaty with the company. The poor emperor was in miserable condition. His territory was confined only few villages around the Delhi. Clive knew that too well. Okay, and he also knew that emperor had no legal position to the high. He cannot give any defeat also. These are all conditions known to Clive about Shah Alam. So Clive decided to make best use of emperor's position. Okay, and he forced the emperor. Clive gave him Allahabad and Kora to save him from the financial distress and agreed to pay the emperor around the grant of rupee 26 lakhs by the time. So these all are the things. Clive made one agreement with all these. Overall, we can say by making all these agreements after the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, the Diwani of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha went to the hands of East India Company. Okay, children. And Diwani means the power of collecting revenue. Understood, children? So now East India Company had the right to collect the revenue from Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. So in this way, East India Company, under the leadership of Robert Clive, able to manage so many development in India. The East India Company able to capture that Bengal, Bihar, Orissa. Of course, Delhi also, they migrated Delhi also, but Delhi was directly not under the control. They didn't, Clive didn't take direct control, but there was a agreement, and that Shah Alam was substitute ruler under the Clive. This is how the fate of India ruined under the leadership of Robert Clive. Got it, children? Aditi and Vishnu Kumarji. I hope this is how East India Company, under the able leadership of Clive, able to get the Diwani and of course, Diwani means, of course, they became the direct ruler of this area. Next class, we will discuss how from Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa too, they expanded the rest of India by sending the different type of rulers, and those rulers under the East India Company, they were called as Governor General. Lord Wellesley, next William Bentinck, next it is none other than the uh, Dalhousie, okay, Warren Hastings. These all rulers, how they came one by one, and what methods they adopted, and how they expanded, we'll discuss next class. This is, I hope you understood. Once you go through that material, I'll send some material once you can go through that. Okay. Yeah,
Thank you
ma'am.
very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.